everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I'm Sean. This is In the Mixer, episode number 24 of our Pentagon challenge. I got the fingers right that time. If you haven't gone and checked out last week's episodes, please go and check them out beforehand because they're going to bring you up to date on today's episode, where we're at and what we've got coming for the season. I'll give you a second now. Have you done it? Fantastic. Welcome back. We are, of course, at the start of a new season. We've got new players to introduce. We've got a couple of fixtures and stuff that have been played in the league itself. We've done our full Champions League group stage campaign. We're going to finish that off and meet our knockout round opponents in today's episode. So there's a whole bunch of stuff we want to bring you guys, a bunch of stuff to recap. We're not going to waste too much time. Let's jump straight in and see how we've gone. So first and foremost, up there in third spot in the division, 5 games played, 12 points, plus 6 goal difference is Guangzhou. We've got a game in hand on the two sides above us, Meizhou and Dalian Professional. If we win that game in hand, we will go back up to top spot, which is where we have started pretty much all the season. So far, so good as far as the league season is concerned. And also, so far, so good as far as the Champions League is concerned. We'll do the results first, and then I'll introduce you guys to the team and the squad. We did randomly lose to Shenyang Urban in the Super League. They're becoming a bit of a bogey team, and of course, having managed them previously, that's quite frustrating. We did go down to 10 men in that game, but more on that in a moment. But as far as the Champions League is concerned, we are 5 wins from 5. We have beaten Central Coast Mariners, Ulsan, and Higashi Osaka Rosa, who I think is Gamba Osaka's like fake version team from the J-League over in Japan. It's a very strong group. We've got the champions of Australia, ex-Korean champions, and previously Champions League champions in Ulsan as well, and a very strong J-League squad. And we've done really well with it. Like, I really have nothing to complain about. We have topped the group already. That is secure going into the last game against Higashi Osaka Rosa. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. And we did beat them 5-0 last time out. I will bring you the last game of that leg or of the group stage in today's episode, which is going to be fantastic. And hopefully we'll also get the draw for the knockout stages so you can see who we're going to get later this week and who we're going to be up against in the knockout stage. But before we go through all that, we have signed quite a few players. It is a new look squad. There were some player departures, some players coming back in. I had a whole bunch of cash to work with, and I've done my best, based on everyone's guidance in the comment section, to try and make the most of that. And we have spent 780 million yuan, which is mind-boggling, I know. But, I think we've actually done really well in terms of the overall balance of the team and, getting some cash back. We also sold 122 million yuan worth of talent, which is great. The big one, the big departure, Leonardo Valdez has left. He was our captain for a large portion of last season. Olympiacos actually paid his release clause. Once they put that bid in, I immediately started to transition towards planning towards a slightly different looking team this year, which is why you might see we're weaker in some spots but stronger in others. More on that's coming in a moment. But he makes the jump across for 105 million, which is fine. There's nothing really to be concerned about then. The other players that have left are little kind of bit part players from the previous seasons. I think Kai Peng probably played the most of the other players. Li Wiming was a young, high potential prospect we had at the start of last season who's just gotten too old now. And Bao Cheng was another player that filled in at various spots at centre back and right back. But the ins, those are the ones that you guys care about. We'll start in this view because I want to show you kind of like our starting 11 and what we're working towards and where we've kind of recruited. So we have got our 4 international players, Adam Maurice, more on him to come, Park Ju-sung, Alexander Diaz, and Owanmi Karatala, our wide players, because they are such a key creative part of this shape and this structure. Those 2 wide forwards, those 2 fullbacks really getting up and down those sides of the pitch. And I've kept the spine to be Chinese, mainly because when you kind of look at who's available on the market and who's actually good enough quality for Champions League level football, there aren't that many players in wide positions for that in the Chinese national side. Even if we kind of look at the squad, like our backup right back is the starting right back for the Chinese national team. Lu Hanming, who is an excellent player at the left-hand side, and Yubo, I can't get them back because they're getting crazy cash over in Europe at the moment. Moving forward, further forward, Chia Long is actually, more of a forward for Shandong, but they're using him as an inverted winger on the right-hand side. We can't afford him. He won't come across. Li Jiong is actually one of our players who's playing on the left-hand side for China. So there isn't that much depth and that much talent in the wide areas that we didn't already have access to. So if we're identifying that kind of area and space as being a weaker portion of the Chinese national structure and their youth teams and whatever else, then it becomes really easy, I think, to then go and identify that's where we want to recruit our international players. And that's where we want to use those spaces to try and bring in players that not just can play in the Chinese Super League every year, but meet our qualification requirements for the Champions League as well. So Park Ji-sung being Korean, that's huge for us. He's going to be excellent for us again this season. And then, we've got a Spaniard, a Colombian, and a Scotsman, which is a weird thing to say, but filling out our remaining visa player or international player requirements. And then the rest of the squad is filled in with, players that are either in and around that Chinese national team squad, or players that have relatively high potential that are still under the age of 20 that we are going to try and develop as being squad players in this team. And if they catch fire and start to get into a good run of form, why not go and try and sign them permanently or put them into a permanent starting position in the squad and in the lineup. But this is the best lineup that we can go through as it comes in. There are familiar faces: Yu Min Kun, Zhu Qi, and Xiao Gang. You guys know from last season. We did sign Xiao Gang permanently for 10 million yuan, an absolute steal from Ulsan over in South Korea, and he was excellent for us last season. He started the season fantastically well again this year. He's been fantastic and is continuing to develop very well at 19 years of age. Park Ji-sung, of course, played for us last season as well. He was fantastic in that title-winning season. Still hasn't scored for us yet, but he was wonderful at Ulsan when we played them in the Champions League a few seasons ago with Shenyang Urban. He's excellent at the left fullback on attack on our side. Physically, just an absolute beast. And even though he's only 3.5 stars, I wouldn't really change him for any of the other players that are available to us at the moment. And then the new face, Adam Morris, has joined us from Manchester United, which is wild to think. Wingback on attack is how we're using him. Excellent technically with the ball for what we need him to do. Wonderful mental attributes, wonderful physical attributes. Still only 22 years of age. We did pay quite a bit for him. 95 million yuan was his release clause, but he came through at the United Academy. He actually made Premier League appearances as a bit part player for them over the last few seasons, and I'm thrilled to have him across. He's an absolute star of this division already, make no mistake, and he is, at the moment, arguably the best player in our team. So wonderful to have him across. Moving forward into midfield, a couple of different adjustments here. Wang Jianfeng, who's a little bit outside what I would usually sign because he's a 30-year-old central midfielder, but he is the starting captain for the Chinese national side, and that's why we've brought him across. If we're going to keep that spine as, kind of like Chinese as possible, which is a horrible thing to say, but as local or as nationalist as possible, he's probably the best player available in that position, in that deep-lying playmaker on defend role, which Valdez completed last season. So we can bring a player in that's not that far off the current ability that we had with Valdez last year, vastly experienced, a leader at a national team level, 107 caps to his name, and also allows us another marquee spot or another international visa spot in one of those wider positions, which I viewed as being more important effectively. So he joins. We paid quite a bit for him. 85 million for a 30-year-old is high, but that again was his release clause. He comes straight across and immediately kind of just walks into our lineup at that number 6 position. Alongside him is Li Jin, who we picked up from Parma, 23-year-old Chinese midfielder, available for only 10 million yuan, a steal in that respect. Came through at the Milan Academy, one of the international players that really we were looking to try and bring back to China, and he started the season very well. Make no mistake, only 3-star current ability, but he plays, I think, much beyond that, and he is a Mazzala as a default role. Can do the DLP role as well. Excellent technical attributes, good mental attributes, solid physical attributes for what we need out of him. Already signed for 10 million, is worth 44 million. Has a release clause for foreign clubs of 140, so if he really catches fire and teams want to come in for him, we will get a vast return on that investment as well, which is fantastic to see. Sticking with the spine, Wang Ming Zhuan has come across, 25-year-old who joins from Ulsan. We were looking at him last season. If you remember, he was on our shortlist a few different times last year. 14 million yuan, again, I think a steal. A wonderful player, can play at the kind of base of midfield, can also play as an advanced playmaker on support, which is how we're using him. If you look at the key roles and even the secondary roles, technical attributes exactly where we need him. 16 first touch, 17 technique, very good mental attributes, good leadership, good decision making, good composure, and physically fine for what we need. We don't need him to be like 15, 16 in that role. He's a playmaker, not necessarily needed to be like push him beyond the line or anything. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, but absolutely fantastic. You've got to remember, we're comparing him to a starting right back at Manchester United, who's 4.5 stars. So we're not going to get like 5-star ability players in every position. But again, a full Chinese international. He does start for that side a lot of the time. So thrilled to have him involved, and he has started the season very well. Wide positions, Alexander Diaz continues on from last season. He played last year, was fantastic for us. One of the best in the division. He played as the inside forward on us on the left last year. This year, we're playing him as an inverted winger on the right, which is great because he's got all the key traits for it. Fantastic. And joining him on the left-hand side, Juan Mi Karatala briefly briefly earlier on in his career, he was a wonder kid. Isn't anymore. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential for the 22-year-old Spaniard. Has some under 20 caps, but just wonderful finishing and dribbling ability. Really, this top half of his technical attributes is why we've brought him in. We've got a guy for free kicks. We've got a guy for corners. He can dribble. He can take a man on. He's got the flair to beat a man in possession. Physically very gifted as well. Wonderful balance, 14 pace, agility, and acceleration. All fantastic stuff. And he's right-footed, playing as an inside forward on the left. Has started the season fantastically well. 7.22 average rating already in the Champions League. 7.3 in the Chinese Super League for his 4 appearances and a couple of goals already. Make no mistake, don't worry too much about the stars. His stats for what we need him to do, absolutely perfect. So thrilled to be bringing him across as our 4th player, or our 4th international player. And currently leading the line, Zhang Bao, who we've brought across from Sporting Lisbon, Varzim, where he spent on loan last season. Again, another player that we had on our list for a while. We paid 10 million for him to bring him across during the second division season in Portugal from Varzim, and so far has been excellent for us as well. Leads the line very well. Is that pressing forward on attack that we want him to be? Good finishing, good first touch, wonderful mental attributes for what we need him to do. Great work rate and teamwork. Physically, fantastic as well. 16 strength, 17 balance, good movement attributes as well for someone who is so big and so strong. Only 22 years of age as well. So we've already made a tremendous profit on his value already. If someone wants to come in and claim him, again, if a foreign side comes in, 115 million, they can take him. We'll take that profit, we'll take that bounce, and we'll get some additional players back in. That is still including quite a few different players in the squad that aren't in the starting lineup that are very good. Xiao Tong is in there also. Started for us last season, was fantastic. Hei Wei also played for us last season. He was the starting right back is the starting right back for the Chinese national side. Now can't get into our lineup, which is crazy. Sun Hu was excellent. Kai Tao was excellent for us last season, despite his stats not being that much. Li Chen, Li Ji Wei, all youngsters coming through that have high potential. So the squad, I'm very, very happy with. I think the squad has been excellent. And that is reflected in the season preview for the league itself, where we are expected at $1.83 odds to kind of walk the division in. Only one player in the Media Dream 11, which is weird to me. It's Diaz on the right-hand side, but our squad, I feel, is much, much stronger than the rest in the division. And it wouldn't surprise me if by the end of the year, a lot of these like Media Dream 11 spots are our players because they've started to build up their own reputations in the league and in the division itself. But very, very excited, very, very happy with the squad we've put together. We are sneakily, and shout out to Sog, because I know he asked last week, throwing bids at the likes of like Mbappe and Haaland and whoever else. They're not likely to come. Mbappe's 36 now, Haaland's 34. They're still playing and winning at PSG, so I don't think they're going to be too thrilled to be making that jump across. But if anything does happen, if they do start getting upset, we will start throwing some cash their way to get some of those big money marquees. I've still got 3.4 billion, yes, billion with a B, in the transfer budget, and we are under our wage budget by 2.83 million. So we're just continuing to make money somehow, which is crazy. I spent nearly $1 billion and we still haven't really like taken that bigger chunk out of the overall financial balance. And I assume we'll be back up ahead of that even further by the end of this season, the way that we're currently tracking. We want to bring you guys some football though. So we are going to go and play the game against Higashi Osaka Rosa. I mess it up every time. But we are going to go with pretty much our starting lineup. We do have Jian Feng out suspended with this one due to yellow cards. Li Boyang, again, another full Chinese international, will come in as the Mazzala and we'll move Li Jin to the DLP just to keep that consistency going in the lineup, getting him back out there as much as we can. Otherwise, it's full strength and we may, I think, hit 10 in this game, which would be excellent. And really, you know, set down a marker for the knockout stages as well. We're playing, of course, our 4-2-3-1 attacking structure. We are at home, so we're really going to go after it. They are playing a 4-2-2-2. It's shades of the old Brazilian national team for 2002, but I don't think their midfield four was that deep. So they're definitely trying to get as many bodies behind the ball as possible and limit, I think, the damage that we could potentially do to them in this match. Immediate highlight here from kickoff. Always interesting to see. Played a ball down the line, which Maurice should get to relatively quickly. And then Jin looks to send Bao down the line. Diaz now cuts inside at halfway. Good switch out to Karatala. Going to try and get back on his right foot. Cuts it back. It's pinballing around the edge of the area. Maurice on the overlap gets the strike away. It wasn't far past the wide or the far post. But excellent little interchange of play there to start the match. And a good start. A very, very good start. Corner here as well. Karatala goes near post. It's a poor ball. Cut back for Boyang, who's going to get another chance at it here after the defence closed down the cross. Jin to Diaz. Out to Diaz again, who can beat a man, and he's gone down in the box. This could potentially go to the penalty spot, and it might be Maurice's chance from right back to try and find that penalty finish. Steps up and it goes to the left. The keeper did kind of go the right way, but it had enough pace and power on it to go. He's got 5 goals this season from right back already. Just shows how dominant we've been in the early part of the season in all of our games. But a wonderful finish, and we take a 1-goal advantage early in the match. Next highlight, throw in here on the left. It's a long ball forward. It's going to get cleared back in. Chi sends it all the way back to Minkun in goal. Can we go a long one forward? Bow's there to challenge, flicks on the header, and they've headed it all the way back to their keeper. Good play from them. Diaz has stayed forward for the press. And it's end-to-end stuff here, but it's going to fall to Mingzhuan, and then a reverse pass to Diaz. Can he find the right cutback? It's closed down by the defence. It'll fall to Morris. Great ball in towards back stick. Pinballs around, and then Mingzhuan with a lovely little finish. Again, his 5th goal of the season as well. That's where he really helps us in that second phase of attacking plays, jumping into the box as the extra man. It's a great ball here from Morris. Bao maybe should have done better. Karatala, I think, tried to play it to Mingzhuan. He takes a lovely touch around the defender, gets it on his favoured left foot, drives it past the keeper, and we're 2-0 up inside 15 minutes. A wonderful start from the team. Through 30 minutes and slowing down a little bit. I'm going to throw it to Man Moorshed out there, but I'll take whatever victory we can get. There's a throw in here on the left, and then we might have a look at the fixtures in some of the other groups as well. Boy Yang, good switch out towards Diaz, just cut out by the fullback there, but we retain possession. He's in possession now, and he's got Maurice around the outside of him. Instead, he beats the first man. Can he find the cutback? He goes the drive himself from the angle, and a good save by the keeper. We've got another highlight immediately. Mingzhuan to Morris towards Bao, who knocks it down for Diaz. It's a wonderful save there from Yanai in goal for Higashi Osaka. And the corner comes back in. It's cleared away. They potentially might come the other way here. Park Ju-sung does get turned on halfway, but Gang comes across the cover. And it's good covering play there to send the ball out for the throw-in. But having a look at the other groups, Al Ain have had a good start on the western side of it. But from the east, there's no one else that's really topped their group undefeated. So we might be doing relatively well comparative with the other clubs in our region, or at least on our eastern side of the table, which is fantastic to see. Half-time's called at 2-0 up. I'm just going to say I'm very happy. We're not worried too much about anything other than form and fitness at the moment, and the form's good, the win is good, and if we can get everyone through this one unscathed, we'll be in great shot. Bao got goal side then and drove a good ball, but good pace, but not towards the corners the way you'd want it. Kanai with a good save for the corner. Karatala takes that now, and I don't think we've taken a good corner so far yet this episode. Just noticing Beijing in our 18 points, top of their group, with Melbourne City's group, which is disappointing, but they're starting quite well. So a good group stage for the Chinese sides as far as I can see. And the third Chinese side, there's 4 actually. Shanghai Port, a second in their group to Melbourne Victory, and Shandong have just dropped off the top of their group against Jeonbuk. So we hope that they can kind of turn their stuff around and get themselves through to the knockout rounds for our coefficient. But we are at the hour mark, so we're going to make some subs. And I'm just going to go on fitness at the moment. So we're going to take off Karatella and Boy Yang. I'm going to leave Bao out there because I want him to try and find the back of the net. I think he needs a boost to his confidence. And then Park Ju-sung has a yellow card, so I'm just going to hold off on that last one. I don't have a specialist left back on the bench. We could work some stuff around, but I think I can have faith in him to not get himself suspended or not get himself sent off. Corner here, taken by Diaz. It's a good ball in. That one was a little bit better. Back to Morris, though, who can beat a man in a wide area, and he bursts forward. Good ball in, too, and he's found Li Jiong, one of the subs, fresh off the bench. 3rd goal of the season for him. He's a full Chinese international. He is playing on the left-hand side for the Chinese national team. Can't get into our starting lineup at the moment, such as the strength of the quality of the squad. And it's a good finish there. Great ball from Morris again, who's been excellent this match. And a wonderful finish from Jiong, who I think was an off-season signing. I'm just remembering that now. I didn't mention him. He's joined from Inter Milan, where he made a couple of appearances, came through their academy structure, but has already played more first-team football with us than he has anywhere else in his career, and has done very well, albeit playing off the bench in that role. And I think that's the first Champions League goal for him as well, so congrats to him. We're into the last 10. We're just going to hit demand more with a few minutes remaining. I'll take the 3-0 victory. That will be fine for us. And we have got a wide free kick here into extra time. It's a flick on header far post. It's going to get ruled out for offside, but it was Xiao Tong, one of the subs, with the powered ball home there. And at full time, 3-0 victors on the day. Not our best performance of the Champions League series or the group stages anyway, but a wonderful win. So I'm just going to say, well done, lads. A good win for us. And we will see now who we're going to get in the knockout rounds. All right, interestingly, we found out the next day it's going to be an all-Chinese affair in the knockout stages or in the second round. We're going to come up against Beijing, who we've got not the worst record against. If you focus really just on the portions that I was in control of Guangzhou, which is really this last 4 games here, we haven't actually lost to them yet. But there were in the early days of this save or this database, a lot of pain for quite a while for Guangzhou there, where Beijing were just torching them for a long period. So head to head, 31 games played, they are still ahead of us, but potentially with that double leg tie and the league results this season, we can jump back above them this season and hopefully get stuck in from there. So very excited about that tie. Both legs of that tie will take place in the next episode. So we're not going to have that much football taking place between them. We do play Beijing in the league as well itself, but tune in for another episode later this week where we are going to play both legs of that Beijing tie. As always, guys, thank you so much for the continued support on this series. It has been fantastic. I'm responding to all the comments I've gotten. Full disclosure, I'm recording this one a little bit early, so if I haven't responded to your comment yet, don't stress. I'm just away this weekend. But really, more than anything, like, I thank you for the support. I do sincerely appreciate it quite a bit. Drop a like on this video to help us getting through to the group stages and one step closer to our first Champions League triumph on this save. Or you can subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos in this series and a few others that will come out between now and FM22. But as always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.